What is up, homies? Christian back at it again with our Twin Sons action figure close-up. And today I have for us the Bandai SHFiguarts Star Wars Rogue One Shoretrooper. So here, as you can see, we have the standard SHFiguarts box. Simple box design with just window in the front. Got that Star Wars logo, SHFiguarts with the little motto and stuff. It says Shoretrooper. Let me know, guys. Do you call it a Shoretrooper or a Scarif Trooper? I've always called them a Scarif Trooper, but I feel like it's pretty interchangeable. On this side, we just got a picture of the figure. On the back, we got some nice posing stances and some photography with it, showing off what he can do, you know. A bunch of legalese, barcode, legalese on the bottom. And on this side, we just get that shiny silver line that they used for the original trilogy era. Rogue One. Alright, but enough of the box. Let's free him from his plastic prison and see what we came here for, right? Alright, so I'm just going to start off by getting my biases out of the way in the beginning of this video. This is my favorite trooper design, not just what Disney's put out, but in all of Star Wars. I don't know, there's something about them. Not only that, this is my favorite Figuarts figure, but let me show you guys why. For starters, let's just look at some of the sculpting in the paint app. I have one word to describe it: clean. This is a clean looking figure, right? Despite the one little paint mishap right there. This is a clean looking figure. Bandai did a great job just sculpting in all that fine detail. Putting in some little bit of scuff work on the paint app right there in the helmet. The paint app perfectly detailed. Like, oh my gosh, it's so clean. It looks amazing. The torso, clean. The sculpt work here, they put straps in, they put a wash in on the straps to give those some depth. This blue is just hidden, all the right shades of blue right there. It's like a baby blue. The color is a little off on the camera for some reason. It's like a baby blue though. Clean line work right here with the white and the black on the commander. I think that's what designates him as the commander, at least. Down here, we got the orange and the blue. We could put a wash shade over that ridge right there. They put a wash in the back here. It's put a wash on most of this figure, I've noticed, and it really just makes it look so good. So you can see on the back, on the little air raider backpack, I don't know what it is. The sculpt work on it is just fantastic. They put the great work in there. Put little lines like that. I don't even know what this stuff is. A little circle in there. They textured all of it. They sculpted in half the circle down there. This is where we get the legalese on the figure. Kind of wish they put that on a foot or something. I know Hasbro tends to do that. So we have that there. We have pouches here. We have like ammo shells right there too. I've had this figure for years, guys, and I just learned that this actually rotates around. I don't know what that is, because this is what holds the thermal detonators. The pouch on the front looking mighty clean. I don't know what he keeps in here. It's a secret, I guess. Down here, we have the texture right here. It's like ribbed right there, as you can see. Just more of that wash on it, and that blue line work coming down right here. The red just pops out against the tan, sandy color of the rest of the figure. They got a little bit of that tan coming through there too. Pops really nicely between the blue and the tan. His hands look great too. His pants sculpt work on it, fantastic. Really looks natural. You know, you pay for what you get. It looks better than Hasbro's pants. Stuff, just the texture on it looks more natural. How it actually would like bunch up and where it would bunch up, you know, like in the thigh by his butt and stuff. You know, pants tend to bunch up there and stuff. The knees, the insides are a little bulging, but that's because of the single knees, which look better on the front. His shin guards, I mean, they're just an extension of the rest of the armor. They look amazing. There's just that shade in there, that wash, that just, oh, it's amazing. More of that sculpted texture here. They put the little notches there, and the clean lines there. So you can see, like, they differentiate the knee pads a bit, but they're like that in the movies too. And I've always wondered why they've done that. Why they always have one different knee pad. Maybe to tell left from right when they're putting them on. But as you guys can see, it looks crisp. crisp and clean. That's the best way to describe this figure. I don't mean clean like, I mean he is an overall clean looking figure. There isn't much dirty on here. But I mean clean like the sculpting wasn't messy, you know? The sculpting is just crisp. The line work is crisp on it. Now, where Figuarts also generally excels is the articulation. I know that didn't really show with Chewbacca last time, but with this figure, it really comes out, especially when compared to the other troopers Hasbro puts out. Let's start with his head. Looks way down, looks way up. It's a double jointed neck, so you have a peg down there and a peg up there. You get a lot of tilt on each side. Swivel left, swivel right. Overall, he can just look any which way. He can look up to the side and then angle it, so he's like questioning something in the air. Allows you to get a lot of expression out of a helmeted character, having all this range of movement in the neck. The shoulders. So let me point out these shoulder pads are actually on a hinge, so they can go up and they can go down, and that allows them to go all the way up like that. You can raise his shoulder above 90. He's got a butterfly inside of there, which allows for him to come forward and go back. And you can combine that with the inner so you can reach all the way back. Obviously it goes all the way around. And then when you get up, you just pop that shoulder pad back in when he's in the spot. So there's also a bicep swivel, which we always like to see. His elbows are double jointed, come up to a little bit past 90, but that's really the armor's fault because the armor runs into itself right there. So someone in this armor in real life would not be able to get that much movement out of it. That's probably the actual natural limit that they would get. The other arm, I mean, I'm not gonna go over it. It's all the same. Moves there, moves there. So there is forearm swivel though, as well. So that can happen, and then you'll notice, obviously this doesn't look right, the articulation doesn't work right and stuff. So something to keep in mind. The wrists, we get to the SHFiguarts wrists. So the wrist can swivel around, and then the hand can swivel on the wrist. So you can get, you know, up and down, or you can swivel it and then swivel the hand. So now you have side to side. So the wrists can go any which way you want them to. And you can see here, I have them with two fists. We'll go over those in a little bit. For torso, gets crunched down. A lot of lean back, more lean back than crunch down, but that crunch down, again, it's limited by the armor in the front. So that's as far as it'd be able to get down in real life. Obviously, you get lean on this one, lean left and lean right. And obviously you get your swivel. And you can see it swivels in two spots. His torso is comprised of the upper chest and like the abdomen area. So you can swivel there and then have him turn back. So it looks more like he's in the middle of a turn really fast, and you know, you could pose him in a way. Feels look like he's like running in that direction or something, just quickly turned. So that's nice. But be aware that you can get a little gap in there sometimes if you have him do an extreme pose back. For his hips, gets out about yay, not a lot. And then he gets caught up on these armor flaps, cloth flaps. I don't know what they were really in the movie. More like almost like a vinyl, I feel like. That leg, not too much. But gets out pretty well, especially for having that pouch in the front. Like no back at all. No back at all. The single knee gets up to about there. And the knees are something I love on the Figuarts. I mean, knees are always going to be unsightly on a figure, just due to the nature of where they are and how a knee in real life works. You'd have to have something seamless, like soft goods, or have the figure made out of rubber or something like that to hide the knees perfectly. But These knees are probably some of the best looking knees in my opinion, because they don't have that weird, Hasbro has the joint on top and the joint on the bottom, like the knee pad in the middle. I've just personally never been a fan of that, but this knee looks pretty clean, especially when you got him like fully kneeling down. It just blends in pretty well. They're pretty much the same brown, it's just maybe a skosh lighter in real life, but as you guys can see on the camera, it's pretty much the same brown. Oh, no thigh swivel, like in the middle, it's at the hip, as you can see. His wrists, his ankles, not much up and down, but you can see the joint right there. It gets a lot of side to side, which is nice for stabilizing him, but pretty much no up and down. I mean, you guys can see that range of motion. And you guys can see the silver pin right there, and that is for the Figuarts trademark toe joint. Really nice for running poses. You can have him actually look like, or you know, if he's crouching down or something, you can have it really nice. All right, let's put him down right here. Let's talk about his accessories. So, like most import figures in the Figuarts line, it comes with different set of hands. Talked about how he has the fists on right now. This is a palming hand to palm a rifle, like, you know, if you hold the trigger finger here and you have the palming hand. So that looks good. There's a joint in there that's hidden though, because that's where you put the peg in. He comes with that for each side. So that was the right hand before. This is the left hand. Looks good. And like Chewbacca for these, you just boop, and boop. He's in. As easy as 1, 2, 3. I'll just pop this off to save me a second here in a minute, because he also comes with, so this is like a dual use hand. As you can see, if you're holding it like this, it looks like a pointer finger, but it's actually a gun holding hand. The SHFiguarts just has mighty fine trigger discipline, and he never puts his finger in that trigger well unless he absolutely has to. Even on the right hand, he's practicing that great trigger discipline. And I like having these hands like this because, for one, I kind of, maybe it's just a hobbyist too, I like him looking like he has really good trigger discipline, and it just looks really clean when he does that. I don't know why. It just makes him look a little bit more, I wouldn't say realistic, because obviously he's never gonna look realistic. He's a SHFiguarts trooper, nothing in real life like that, but I don't know. I just like it. And I also like it for the second reason, because you can have him be pointing at something in your photography, which looks really nice. So, you know, you can have him like this, pointing over there, you know, he's like, hey, you there, put that down, you know, it just looks really nice. And now, let's go over his weapons he comes with. He comes with the SHFiguarts Trooper rifle, I'm going to call it, because I have no idea what it's called. But as you can see, kind of disappointing how there's a lack of a paint app on here. Even the Hasbro one has a paint app. But the detail is very well done. Again, more of just that crispness we come to expect from Figuarts. Putting that texture on the actual pistol grip there is sculpted a lot. You will notice that the trigger well is filled in. It is not sculpted out, but they actually bothered to sculpt in the trigger too. So, interesting choice how they decided to do that and not actually put a little hole there. I'm sure it just saves them a couple dollars, although to not have to worry about punching out that plastic and keeping it clean. Did a lot of work on the detail though. We got some rivets in the back here, a rivet at the bottom. The grill up here looks really well done. It goes around the top too. The side, my camera's not cooperating. There's too much detail on here. So you see like this power pack magazine goes into the side for these figures, for these troopers. I mean, he has like a little box right here that, I don't know, maybe it's like a tracker, keeps track of where the gun is on the field or something. But overall, a lot of sculpt work on here. Actually sculpted in a little grip down here for him to put his resting hand on. flashlight on the side there, or maybe a laser pointer. We got the scope on it. Looks very good. And we do that. Just slides right in. And it will just clean and crisp. SHFiguarts. That should be their tagline. So you can see he holds it very well. And again, I like that look. The trigger discipline on the hand and stuff. You can hold it pretty well anywhere. And the thing with SHFiguarts is that their articulation is really good. Now, this takes a little bit of patience, but bear with me here. Unlike Hasbro figures, you can actually get him to look down the sights of the rifle. It is obviously like posing those figures, it takes a little bit of time, but you can actually shoulder the gun fully and bring it up. You can keep it up there. There's something about him that looks a lot more natural when he's doing these things than the Hasbro figures. Especially the Hasbro Troopers, they always have a little clunky of articulation, but again, you get what you pay for. This figure obviously costs a lot more than $20, and the quality is a lot higher than $20. But they just look a lot more natural. I don't know why. Can't put my finger on exactly yet. So we'll take that gun out of his hand. There we go. Leave him standing here. Because he also comes with the E11. I know the name of this one. Everyone does. So he comes with the standard E11 blast rifle again. Trigger well, just a solid piece. But again, that texturing and the sculpt work on here, they really just knocked out of the park. You got the little laser pointer flashlight here. You got the little magazine energy pack here. More tracking. I mean, the Empire probably likes to track all of their equipment. Let's be honest here. But in the stock that we never see folded out, it's always put away. So it's just kept in the position where you can't ever shoulder this gun, which makes it really uncomfortable to shoot, I feel like. Very unstable. That's probably why they always miss. But as you can see, it looks really well sculpted. Again, I really wish they put a paint app on here, but you can't win them all, right? We've got some rivets on the back here. Overall clean looking though. Wash would have been nice. And he holds that fine. And this gun too. This one he can't shoulder quite as well, but that's simply because this gun isn't really meant to be shouldered. It doesn't even have the stock or anything to shoulder it. I feel like this gun is meant to just to spray and pray, and that's why the Stormtroopers always do it. They don't pray hard enough because they always miss. But as you can see, he looks good holding it. Looks very good holding it. I don't think you can make this figure look bad, honestly, in any pose. So, let's get him here. Part of my camera work here because I'm gonna move everything here a bit. Because I have with me the Hasbro figure. So you can see, I mean, I'm not knocking on Hasbro. I love Hasbro. This figure looks great. I like how this figure has the skirt on it. I don't know, I'm a sucker for half skirts like this in war. But for size comparison, here he is with the Black Series one. Normally SHFiguarts runs a little small, but as you can see here, he's gonna blend in perfectly into your display. It's gonna fit right in, but you can just see, I mean, Hasbro purposely dirtied this one up a bit. You can see the little paint marks there and the mud marks and stuff, but even disregarding that, this one is just crisp. More detail on the helmet, more detail on everything, everywhere. A lot more posable too. Hasbro, you cannot really get to shoulder the gun. It's always more of just elbowed than shouldered. But they still look great. I like Hasbro. Everyone likes Hasbro. Everyone likes SHFiguarts too, including me. I love this figure. Definitely, if you like Rogue One, if you're a trooper army builder, and you just want something to put in your ranks just to spice it up a bit, look nice, I highly recommend getting this figure. It did come out a few years ago. I don't know what the availability for it is today, but let me know in the comments down below if you guys have one, or if you're gonna try to pick one up. And if you do have one, take a couple shots and tag us on Instagram, you know? But highly recommend him. So until next time, may the force be with you.